Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Shelf Comics. I'm Tommy, joined by Murphy.
Hello.
We're back with this week's top five comics for December 20th, 2023. They were last week's comics, but now they're this week's, and they're the last weeks of this year that we'll be covering, possibly, because next week is Christmas. So we will be off.
Yeah. But these are
And
technically the second to last comics of the year.
right, because technically there's New
We
Year's.
will get the 27th.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we may or may not have that, depending on how Murphy and I are feeling on New Year's Day.
Like
So,
I said, man, New Year's Day. Uh, do you guys have New Year's Day traditions? Because I just found out that apparently you eat cabbage on New Year's Day.
I have heard that. I don't, it's not my tradition.
Yeah, that's not something. I don't know. I don't want to eat cabbage.
My tradition is doing nothing usually.
Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza's good.
New Year's Day pizza.
New Year's Day pizza. And watch Batman Returns, the Christmas movie.
And just Batman movies.
Yeah.
I did the Nolan trilogy for a couple years straight.
Ooh.
Just every year I'd just
Yeah.
watch all three.
It's fair. It's fair. But diving into this week's top five, we got the original five in the original X-Men.
So the OG 5 on an all new adventure: Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Beast, Iceman, and Angel, the first and greatest heroes to bear the X-Men name, once traveled into their own futures and reset the course of history. Now another multiversal mystery calls them forth. When the dust settles, one hero will remain trapped in the world as we know it. With shocking surprise guests and heart-pounding twists and turns, Christos Gage and Greg Land kick off a story that will shake the whole MU. So are they like trying to say that one of these 5 is just going to be stuck in the normal continuity forever?
Checks out.
Also, one thing I think about, how crazy the original 5 X-Men lineup was compared to what it is
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, that's a strong lineup for a top 5, but then now you think about it and it's just gotten so intense
Oh,
how
it's
many X-Men there actually are.
yeah. Yeah. You can't ground X-Men, but this is close to it, and that's why it made the top five. Because it's just something a little different, even though every X-Men's a little different.
Now, I mean, I'm wondering who. I hope it's not Jean Grey who ends up stuck in the present. We don't need
Yeah.
more psychics.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe it's Cyclops and he just goes rogue.
Like when he was a terrorist.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Yeah. No. But yeah, thought it would be interesting. It's number five. But moving on to our number four this week, we have Nightwing, number 109. Nightwing's pirate adventure ends here. An all new Beast World backup story begins. The dramatic conclusion to Nightwing's pirate quest. Nightwing learns the truth behind the secret pirate society, and his relationship with Bea Bennett changes forever. Plus, an all new adventure begins in the backups. What's going on with Beast Boy? And why is everyone turning into animals? The tie in to Beast World, the thrilling new event of the season, starts here. So we're wrapping up Pirates, heading to Beast World.
Going right into Beasts. I'm not that excited about Beast World, but I am excited about this story.
It just sounds like it's Beast Wars.
It's
It makes me think
interesting.
Beast Wars.
It is.
Yeah.
It's Beast Wars.
And not
Like
in a
I'm
good
sure
way.
that
Yeah.
somebody's going to become a beast, and they're going to have a war between all the beasts.
Yeah.
But no, this story has actually been really fun. It's interesting how they managed to tie, you know, Tom Taylor's run of Nightwing into what happened before.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they've managed to. I'm not going to say save the Rick Grayson arc, but
There's no
they've
saving
done a
it.
good job.
Yeah.
There's no saving it. But I've enjoyed this one, and I mean, Nightwing on a boat, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. What more do you want?
Very swashbuckling.
Moving on to our number 3, we got Star Wars Revelations number 1.
From the High Republic to the original trilogy and beyond, Jabba the Hutt, Darth Vader, Mace Windu, Keeve Trennis, Thrawn, and more. Introducing new characters, new twists, and new turns across all of Marvel's Star Wars line. This star-studded issue puts the pieces on the board for what's to come in a galaxy far, far away. Now, this I like these issues. They come out pretty much every year, you know, just a one shot to kind of put everything in place.
Yeah.
And then they go from there. Like, I think we've talked about it with all the Star Wars books.
I think
like,
the
they've done
last
such
year's
a
made
good
it on our
job.
list too. Yeah.
Yeah, they've done such a good job at like furthering all these stories. And especially for like most of the stories to be, mostly fleshed out in people's heads already.
Yeah.
I think that these books always end up being, pretty good.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I mean, it's gonna probably at some point we're gonna get into all the High Republic stuff. They're gonna flesh out everybody else.
I
And
hope
we'll
so.
just get High
It's so
Republic.
much fun. It's so cool. It's so good. It's so good. But moving on to our number 2 this week, we got a boom number 1, Animal Pound by Tom King. When animals grow tired of being caged, killed, and sold off, it's only a matter of time before they've had enough. When an uprising puts a Pound in control of the animals, they quickly find themselves as comrades, united against everything that walks on 2 legs. But with the newfound power comes a sudden challenge. How best to lay the groundwork for this new democracy as they write their first constitution? Discover an epic graphic storytelling event from celebrated New York Times bestselling Eisner Award-winning writer Tom King. The New York Times bestselling Eisner Award-nominated artist Peter Gross. King and Gross collaborate for the first time to bring this enduring Orwellian allegory to life for the 21st century.
Tom King's definitely going to be able to kill off a beloved pet in this book. It's just Animal Farm as an Animal Farm as a comic book, dude.
He's walking a dangerous line with this one.
I mean, hell, it's it's as good a time as any to be, to put out your big political commentary comic. I mean, hell yeah, I'm there for it. But he's gonna kill whichever character we like the most.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's gonna happen in this one.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready for it. Maybe I'll wait for spoilers and then I'll read
it. Well, I mean, it's probably gonna play out exactly like you think.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm sure it'll be cool.
Now, I haven't read Animal Farm in a long time, but this is definitely just that. So I'm excited to see though what Tom King can do. Because he's good at characters, and this is going to be probably very. I doubt it gets like graphic, like extreme. Like
there's blood on the cage
fighting
here.
The people. Yeah, no, the animals are going to fight each other, not like people, though. I feel like
their enemies are those on 2 legs.
Well, yeah, they bark at them. I don't know. We'll see. I think that Tom King can definitely do a lot with this story, though.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
It'll be fun. But not to be outdone by our other number 1, an Image number 1.
Image number 1.
Shift.
In the New Year's resolution, we got to get a soundboard. Because I feel like I gotta contain my Image number 1s.
All right.
Because like I'm just yelling through the house.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I can make a soundboard. So we have the technology.
I'm not good enough at this stuff.
We have the technology. We're just going to need to, before we do another video, we'll do a little recording of you saying Image number 1 and whatever we want to do for the other ones. And then we will make it into a soundboard.
There we go. That's
that'll be the New Year new right top 5 with a soundboard.
New soundboard, who dis? but shift number 1. So he's tangled with Radiant Black and fought alongside the Dead Lucky. But who's the man in the suit, and how did he assemble his team of contractors? This extra-length one-shot contains the 4 8-page shift stories originally released in Image, plus a brand new 5-page story by Shift creators Kyle Higgins and Danielle Di Nicuolo, ahead of Shift's appearance in Radiant Black's The Catalyst War. Just more world building, dude.
I love it.
They're
I
really
love
gonna
it.
I mean, this is them just getting me, though, because it is stories that were already released in the, the
Yeah,
Image
yeah, and
series.
5 new pages.
Yeah, and 5 new pages, but I'm sure it's going to be a badass 5 pages.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
character's been such a cool part of the massive verse. Like they say, it's like, I mean, he just kind of popped up, started using the technology, feeding off their stuff, and like it's been a mystery ever since. But he's crossed into so many different books,
yeah, yeah,
and so it's cool to get a little bit more kind of one-on-one time. Now, are
yeah,
there any good
absolutely.
variants though?
There's one,
Oh,
two.
that B's cool.
Yeah, the
There's
retailer
only
exclusive
two.
is pretty
It looks
cool.
like
Yeah,
it.
there's only 2 variants. I've
Take my
noticed
money
that
on that.
typically there are fewer variants when it's like the 5.99 one shots that are a little thicker.
Yeah,
But
whatever. Take my money, Kyle Higgins. It's fine. Like it's okay.
cool,
I'll give it up willingly.
cool. Well, seeing as this is the last one before Christmas, do you have any Christmas comic traditions that you like to do?
No, I'm finally gonna get a little bit of time. I have the next basically 2 weekends fully off. I got 3-day week and weekends 2 weeks in a row.
Nice.
Um, so I'm probably gonna hopefully find some place to hang some other stuff. I got a bunch of comics and posters still and art from Comic Con. So it's about to be decoration time.
There we go.
Just
There we go.
start going
There we
around
go.
hanging stuff around the house.
There we go. My plan
So,
is to watch Batman Returns.
hey, hell yeah, man. Well, we're
It'll be
gonna
fun.
probably get to hang out though. We got to
Yeah.
figure out when we're gonna hang out when
Yeah.
you're back here,
When we're off this call, we'll figure that out.
right?
Well, cool. Well,
Well,
anything
everyone else
until
though.
this year's comics are last year's comics, and next year's
Last year's
comics,
comics.
last year's comics, and next year's comics are
Are
this
this
year's
year's
comics.
comics. Are yesterday's comics.
Yeah,
It's gonna fly by.
it's crazy.
2024 is gonna go by
Yeah.
crazy fast.
23 went crazy. 24 is going to go crazy.
Well,
Funny.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody.
Until next year's comics are last year's comics.